What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Working on the 4Runner today on a little lighting project. I'm adding ditch lights to the 4Runner, and I just got the lights on the driver's side mounted up. So I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing on the rest of this project. We're going to get the passenger side light mounted up, and then we're going to talk about this Auxbeam 8-gang switch panel that I'm going to be installing. I'm going to show you how I install this as well. This actually looks like a really nice quality stuff. There's this whole switch panel assembly complete with fuses for all 8 switches. So we're going to keep rolling here. I've got these CBI ditch light brackets I'm installing. The next step we're going to do right now is to hop over to the passenger side and get this installed and get the light mounted, and then we'll move on to some of the electrical. So these ditch light brackets actually install where the bolts go for the hood hinges. So we have to pull this fender back a little bit so we can get access to those. But this makes for like a really slick and low profile bracket once this fender is back in position. It's really just this portion right here that's sticking up and out of the fender. So I kind of like that. I think it's pretty clean. Alright, so I got everything wired up. You can see this is working now. So everything is wired up besides the lights, but as far as this, I'm going to show you a shot real quick of how I did this. I just followed the wiring diagram in the instructions. It's actually pretty easy. So I just took my time making this look clean, but you'll see all the wiring is provided in the kit. So I took the short red power wire, and that goes from the battery positive terminal to the circuit breaker. And then from the other end of the circuit breaker, you take the longer red power wire, and that runs to the switch panel. You'll see there's two 10mm bolts in the switch panel. One of them is marked with red, and that's for the power wire. The one next to that is the ground, so you take the included black ground wire and run it from that to the battery negative terminal. And then there's going to be a 2-prong connection in this switch panel. That wire runs to the included add fuse, where you'll tap into a fuse in the underhood fuse box. Now the 4-pin on the switch panel is where the connector for your controller here is going to plug in, so that's pretty easy as well. So I'm going to tidy this up now and then run some wires from the lights to the switch panel, and hopefully it all works. Alright, I just finished the ditch light install, and I've got to say, I am actually really stoked on this, dude. I think this is actually a really nice setup. So the whole switch panel controller assembly seems to be like really good quality, and I really like how easy it is now to just start plugging in accessories to the switch panel. So we have a lot of expandability now, and it should make adding things on really easy at this point. Instructions and wiring were all pretty straightforward and really easy to follow. I'm generally not a big fan of wiring and electrical stuff, but this was actually pretty easy. I took my time and used some of this braided wire loom to make everything clean and tidy and organized. The only thing that took me a little bit of work was actually finding a good switched fuse to use. Originally I was trying to just use the fuse panel under the hood, but what I ended up having to do was just move that out of fuse inside the car, which was actually pretty easy. I didn't have to cut anything. I had enough room to slip it through where I slipped the switch panel controller wire through, and I just used one of the interior fuses on the interior fuse panel that's switched, so now the controller only turns on when the key is on. So we don't have to worry about draining our battery or anything like that. So that's it. Pretty stoked on this. I think it came out really nice, looks clean, works well. Only thing that's left to do is actually mount the switch panel in the interior. I'm going to try and do a custom bracket where the ashtray would go. So the idea is to sit something like that. So that's pretty much going to do it for me on this one. If you want to check any of this stuff out for yourself, I'll have all the information down below. If you got any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to help. As always, thank you for watching. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you in the next one.